Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the Uncensored match build-up show. Liverpool taking on Wolverhampton Wanderers in the fourth round of the FA Cup. It's Saturday's early kickoff. We are here to discuss it. Chris Pajak's here, John Reid is here, and Chris has got some facts and a little bit of time to focus upon our opposition.
Well, I think that's it, isn't it? We wanted to change.
You think it's it, or you know it's it?
Well, we wanted to change the Uncensored match build-up show slightly and do a little bit about the teams that we're playing because we don't we're for Liverpool fans, but we need to know about the teams that we're playing sometimes. So we wanted to do a little bit of an opposition focus. As Paul said, he wants some stats about Wolves. So Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club, commonly referred to as Wolves, is a professional association football club based in the city of Wolverhampton, West Midlands. The club was originally known as St Luke's FC and was founded in 1877. Since 1889 has played at Molineux. They compete in the Championship, the second highest tier of English football, having been promoted from League One in 2014 after solitary season at that level. But in all seriousness, we've got a lovely graphic, and the opposition focus is that they're in 18th position in the Championship. They played 27, won 8, drawn 8, lost 11, scoring 34, conceding 37. That's a goal difference of -3, 32 points. But you didn't know I'd actually taken that to memory, did you? Form, they've won 3, drawn 1, lost 2. Helder Postiga is their top scorer with 9 goals.
Helder Postiga's still
Helder
going.
Costa, damn it! Helder Costa is their top scorer with 9 goals. He's also their top assister with 6 goals. He's on loan from Benfica, and they've just put a bid in of £13 million. This is the 18th placed side in the Championship, bidding £13 million for a forward from Benfica.
What a mental world that we live in. I'm really upset that it's not Helder Postiga. I actually asked the question the other day, is he still going? What a man, what a legend. Shame he never did more for Portugal.
He's definitely their air danger man.
Postiga? Costa. Yeah, good. I've got an interesting. Well, you can decide whether it's interesting or not. We're obviously in a. Let's face it, we're in shy form at the moment. Mentally speaking, I literally could have copied and pasted this from the other week, where given the recent form, Chris, do we change our approach for this competition now? Because one piece of silverware has just been taken off the table, losing to Southampton. You've talked earlier about how you kind of would fuck the FA Cup off if we were going to go to the final of the League Cup anyway.
We're not in the final of the League Cup.
We're not likely to win any silverware. This is our last realistic opportunity to win silverware this season. Do you go stronger for this game than maybe you would have done if we made the final of the League Cup?
I think maybe is the honest answer. I think, ultimately I believe in the long-term vision of Liverpool as it stands at the minute, and that is developing youth players. And I think if we truly are committed to doing that, you don't have many games in a season where you can develop young players. And I think that, I maybe would have gone a little bit stronger, but I do think the core of this side needs to be young players and needs to be players that aren't getting games in the Premier League because, when you're committing, we said it on the final word for the last couple of games that we haven't got those young players who we can just drop in and go do a job for a couple of games for us. We're not going to get those young players until we give them an opportunity to prove themselves in the first team. And as big of a risk as it is playing young players against a proper side from a decent division of English football, you've got to give them opportunities and they've got to, sink or swim, because you've got to know before it gets to a Premier League tie where the points really do matter.
Yeah, that's it. I think I'd said a few weeks ago, John, that the draw was going to be important to how we decided to go about this game because, look, if we got an Arsenal and then you've got Arsenal and then you've got Chelsea, that makes that's a really difficult situation for the manager to handle because they're two games that you absolutely need to go and put your first team out in. Whereas having a Championship side allows you to say, we can make a couple of changes if nothing else. I think the game that we should be looking at with this regards was actually Derby County early in the season. Derby are actually a better team than Wolves, sort of 10 points better off or whatever in the Championship at the moment. And just to refresh everyone's memory, the team we went with on that day was Karius Moreno, Klavan, Matip, Klein, Grujic, Lucas, Henderson, Firmino, Origi, Coutinho. So, that was
a good blend, wasn't it?
Yeah, Grujic was one of the only young players. Obviously, he's injured at the moment, so we've not been able to see his development. But by and large, that was a team of senior players with a couple of the fringe guys in to refresh it. So obviously Moreno, it was Moreno, Clavan at the time in terms of
Origi at the time as well.
Origi at the time, and again Lucas would be another one. Is that I would suspect we'll go more like that than what we did against Plymouth.
No, that's the type of team I'd want to see, and I think it'd be good to get some of these people who are kind of coming in and out of games, get them starting. Like I think we all want to see Origi succeed. I know people who go to games certainly do, but he needs to start games, I think, and find his feet a bit again. Like bring them on off the benches and helping them. And
it takes 15 to warm into a game, doesn't it, John?
Yeah, and that's the problem. You know, if you're just coming on, asking someone to do something last minute in a big match, like Chris says, it can be difficult to get into a game and do stuff. Whereas if you know, at least in a little bit of a run of form, you know, it knocks on. And like I say, I'd like to see that type of team again, because I think when you go through it, you know, Clavan, Moreno, you know, Moreno's, you know, he might not be able to trust him, but he's meant to be a senior player. He's meant to be good enough. Clavan certainly is good enough. So I'd hope they can get over the line again.
I'd like to see Gomez in there. You know, in all honesty,
absolutely.
And I would really like to see Shea Ojo as well.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. It comes down to it, and this is you borderline on the disrespect. And I said this is the problem with the FA Cup is as the bigger team in an FA Cup game, you can't win. The hosting company wants you to lose because they want it to be the shock. They want everyone to go over to their channel to watch a giant killing and all that. But what it boils down to is, if our fringe players, if they want to play football for Liverpool past this season, they should be better than Wolves. You know, a team that could end up being in a relegation fight in the Championship. If you know that,
yeah,
it's not outside
they're
the
only
realms of
7
possibility.
points clear of that. So
you know,
it's not much.
and you know, so players like Moreno is a Europa League top end Europa League bottom end Champions League quality player. At the very worst, he should be more than capable of playing in this game. Things like Joe Gomez, that'll be really good experience for him. I totally agree on that front. And even at the players like Ojo and whatever, Ojo's good enough to be a top level Championship player. If he wants to be a Premier League player, he needs to go and impress in these kind of situations. So yeah, I think psychologically, more than anything for this game though, I think we need a win. And I remember it will have been the Burton game, came very quickly after losing to Burnley, and we used that as a bit of a get out there. You know, it was 5-0, wasn't it? I think we won that. Get ourselves back up and running again, get the confidence flowing, so that when we do go into the next game, we just don't feel down in the dumps. You know, all of a sudden, because if you don't win this one, or it goes to a replay or whatever, and then you can lose to Chelsea. Your best team playing its best football can lose to Chelsea, because that's been happening to teams all season long. So it's important that we just get this sorted, so we can be a bit more relaxed about Liverpool in general. Trivia. We've got 2 trivia questions this week.
No.
Oh yes. Trivia question.
2 to get wrong.
Number 1. Who was the last player to transfer from Liverpool to Wolves directly? Don't worry. As ever, you don't have to know the answer just now. You can have a little think about this one. It's quite obvious. It's not really that obvious. And we'll do another trivia question in a moment. But first, a word from our sponsors. The Uncensored Match Build-Up Show is brought to you in association with Redmen TV merchandise. Buy some fucking merch. That guy knows what he's talking about. Trivia question 2. We have one player in our squad who's played for both Liverpool and Wolves.
Is it Shea?
You'll have to find out. It's Shea Ojo. Yeah, Shea Ojo, thanks. So we could probably do with playing ourselves into form, couldn't we, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Amazing. John, we could probably do with playing ourselves into form, couldn't we?
Definitely, mate. You know, it's something. We're never going to get out of this slump by, you know, just sitting around doing nothing. It's a training pitch and actually, you know, being on the pitch and doing stuff, and that's the only way we're going to do it. And I think, like I said, I'm slowly developing this thing in my own head off the back of what Klopp said in his press conferences before Southampton, that he needs people who can come in to let the people who are in the first team have a game off and rest and recover properly. And they need to be of the same level, so they need to be in form as well. And I know that's the ideal scenario for any team in the world, but, you know, we've got enough games, as Chris has said, to be doing it. You know, they're coming thick and fast, and we've got maybe not a huge squad, but certainly a big enough squad to cope. So I'd like to see the people who aren't in the squad or on the fringes go out there and put a performance in and make a claim. There's no one at the minute, I think, who, even though we've got an all right bench, who's, you know, bursting to get on. You know, you want it to be the situation we had maybe earlier in the season where you had Chan in the team, and then it was like up to Henderson to get his place back, kind of thing. You want that. You
look at the bench from Southampton. You're talking Origi, Wijnaldum, Woodburn, Klavan, Lucas, Moreno. You would pretty much expect, pretty much with the exception of Woodburn, you wouldn't be surprised to see all of those guys start this game, and that's
particularly with Chelsea on Tuesday.
Exactly.
I don't want to overlook the Wolves game at all because it's a massive
But
game.
it's impossible not to look at the Chelsea game, Chris. It's too important.
Well, you know, Klopp's got to manage his squad for both games. So when we're talking about the team that's playing, we've got to look at it in the same way, haven't we? Otherwise, we'd all go, let's just play the first team every game. It's not like that, is it?
Yeah, it doesn't exist like that. I mean, look, we're a week away from being able to get back to that
breathing.
Yeah, being able to be, but you know, getting back to that one game, you know, getting back to the one game week when we were doing so well. And look,
when we wanted more games, but
well, exactly, like, you know, fucking how fucking stupid are we? But this is the thing, is that for a team that spends the money that Liverpool spends, you know, and the team that has ambitions, I think we should have been able to cope with this spell better than we have done. So it is, to be fair, it's a little bit pathetic that we're looking to get back to a world of one game a week, but we are what we are, you know, and there's no escaping that fact that what we really could do with right now is just being able to put our best 11 players out on the pitch each and every week and see where that takes us for the rest of the season, because for one reason or another, I think a few of the players outside of that haven't performed to the level that we would require from them, to be perfectly honest. And you know, let's name a couple of names. Daniel Sturridge and Divock Origi. There's two guys who are very, very good footballers with very, very good eyes for goal. We've needed more from them in the absence of Sadio Mane, and we've not received it.
Well, that's it. I've seen teams who challenge for titles and who win titles, and you know, most teams, maybe barring Leicester, have some injury struggles and stuff like that throughout the course of a season. And you know, you always bring it up. It's the what's his name? Fucking the Man United guy who came in, young kid, Makeda comes in and scores goals. You know, these players are further along their development than him and that he was at the time for Manchester United. You know, these guys are Premier League standard players already, and they should be able to come in and drop in for an 8-game period and score us some goals. And Origi did well with the scoring goal side of things when he first came in, but we needed him to kick on, and unfortunately he didn't kick on into the performances. And Daniel Sturridge has just been lost at sea all season, to be honest with you, in the Premier League especially. And you know, we needed those guys to really step up while Mane's been gone, while Phil Coutinho's been injured. Because if you'd have said to me before the season, Daniel Sturridge is a backup, and if one of our front players gets injured, I'd have been like, best backup in the league. Yeah. Absolutely best backup striker in the league.
I didn't
look
at our striking situation and see that as being a problem whatsoever. You know, and it turns out, weirdly, that losing Danny Ings, I think, has had a worse impact than we could have imagined, because, and I keep saying this, and we did the Reds transfer roundup this week, which is amazing, by the way. If you're looking to have a bit of a break from the grind of actually just talking pre and post matches, really good show with Steve this week. But I kind of said, you know, the base level of a player that I want to play in our front line should be a guy who just works his bollocks off, and Danny Ings was that all day long. And you know, I think we'd have probably actually coped a little bit better for having him available.
You almost don't mind moving Firmino out from that number 9 role, because you know that what he gives you is replicated in Ings' work rate.
I think Danny Ings could have even done a job in one of the wider positions, you know, in that he had enough pace, and again his work rate makes him a little bit of a threat and what have you. Exactly, you know, and it's a shame it's not. We're not one that's worth talking about, but I didn't look at what we had available to us in the summer and think that was a problem for Liverpool. But it's been made a problem because whether it's the fact that we've created a system that only works with one way, with one set of players, which is that got to be down to the management team, or whether it's simply just that, again, these guys are just not taking their opportunities. I don't know, but I'm inclined to think that I've seen enough opportunity. I've seen these guys on the pitch enough. Daniel Sturridge should have scored more goals, even given the limited opportunities he's got, because he's a good enough player to put the ball in the fucking back of the net when he gets the ball inside the box.
He isn't, you've got to wonder when you stop passing the buck with him, I think. And I think Carragher said it best after the game last night, where he said, basically, unless you give him the chance in the area, you're playing with 10 men for the rest of the match, you know what I mean? And that's an issue. And it's the same, I've kind of got more sympathy with Origi, because I think he's been played in a few different positions. He hasn't really settled. He's come off the bench. He's a bit younger, but
he still scored goals.
He still scored, yeah. So, all of a sudden you go from having 3 strikers to having just 1, really, and that's for me. And we're playing him on the left at the minute. I'm sadly we're missing Ings. So I don't know. It's how do you how do you change your system to make that work? Or I don't think you do.
This is I think this is. I've used this a few times with Daniel Sturridge, and what I said, Chris, was this January is his last chance with no money. He was going to get game time. It was his last chance to go, right, I can do this. And for me, we've talked about it, if we don't win against Wolves in this game, it is simply a case of it's one game a week for the rest of the season. And this therefore is that last game where we have got the opportunity to totally refresh things and bring 5 or 6 players in who are on the fringes. And for all of these players who are coming in, they've got to be hungry. They've got to be saying, they've got to be using this game as a fucking battering ram to that first team, because we know Jurgen Klopp will, given the opportunity, try to keep as close to 111 when he's got the opportunity as possible. So these guys have got to go out at the weekend and
they need to
show
be banging. They need to be banging on the door, don't they? Because you're right, it's their last opportunity to do this, Paul. And there's a few players in this squad now who need to really show. I mean, I was surprised that Emre Can started the other night over Gini Wijnaldum, but it looks like Gini Wijnaldum's now in line for a start probably in this game. And then is he fighting for his place to get back in alongside Lallana and Jordan Henderson as well? So it's not just like the fringe players, it's guys who've been in the first team all season long. And, it should foster a good atmosphere and a good team performance, and hopefully it does, mate.
Yeah, and that's it. What the worst case of scenario of this is we've just got too many players. Because here's the thing, we've reached that point of the season now where the players have probably got a clear idea of what the manager's thinking is in terms of the team. So there might be 1 or 2 players who we say in there who I actually wouldn't, maybe you won't, maybe you don't put in, because do they have the ability to kick on? Whereas Lucas Leiva, let's be honest, you're never getting, look, Lucas Leiva will always put a shift in for you because that's the kind of person he is. But there might be a mentality for example, of a player like him thinking, doesn't matter how well I play here, I'm definitely not playing against Chelsea because I'm not getting in a Henderson. I can't play on the midfield role, and I'm not displacing. We've now got 3 fit centre halves. I'm not getting ahead of them. I'm just keen. I'd be keen to see that whoever the personnel we put out there are, the kind of personnel who don't care about tiredness, don't care about fatigue, they just care about going out and putting a shift in, because that's the only way we're going to get ourselves out of this little slip of form at the moment, little dip, little slip, whatever. It's graft. We've got to graft our way out, and we're coming up against championship opposition. We've just got to go out there, match them for commitment, beat them for commitment, and then use our skill on top. And if we don't, we deserve everything that's coming to us in terms of the fucking shitstorm that will arrive off the back of it. John, key man prediction for you?
I'm hoping it's easy. I think he needs a goal badly, and I'm hoping he plays himself into form, because I think we could do with him for the rest of the season, to be honest.
Great. Chris?
Yeah, I think Origi's the good shout on this one, to be honest with you, for those reasons, and the fact that, right now it looks like he's now 3rd striker again, almost. I think Sturridge, after playing the other night, looks to be the 2nd striker. So Origi's dropped down the order a little bit, so he's got a little bit further and he's got a little bit more to prove, so hopefully that spurs him on.
Yeah, I know he's been good in the cup competitions so far. Origi, he's looked a threat, and he was almost like our cup centre forward in the early on for the League Cup, certainly. Gini Wijnaldum, for me, I talked about the Plymouth game and said how we needed some more senior players in the midfield. Again, he'll have the freshest of the legs of the midfielders that we're likely to put out there. Again, is a guy who, and I've said all season long, he probably should have 5 or 6 goals this season. He's got 2. And this is the kind of game where he's one of those players that if he comes in this game bags a goal and an assist or something like that is pivotal to our attacking play, he probably blows Emre Can straight out of his position and goes into the game against Chelsea. So he's got so much to gain from a good performance at the weekend. So I genuinely hope it is Gini Wijnaldum. Let us know your key man predictions below. Score predictions then, John.
2-0.
Chris?
2-1 to us.
2-1. Coet. Hardest possible way. You know what? Because I've talked about this idea that we're going to get to. I'm just every day of my life. I'm normally dead a glass half full. I'm really slipping at the moment. I'm really
You're
struggling.
not going replay, are you?
I'm going replay because exactly that is because we could really do with getting out of this fucking habit of making it harder for ourselves. Win the game. Get whoever you get in the next round prepared for that.
Who the fuck are you and what have you done with Paul Machin? I don't like you. Bring the other one back.
I know, but
you were angry on a fan cam the other night.
I know.
Shut your fucking life. I'll give your head a wobble.
Yeah, you can
watch the
sort my
final
life
word and make yourself a better person.
I know. You should do. It won't. It didn't make me a better person, but it could make you. I think we do. I think it's folly to think we're going to turn up out of nowhere and put in a fucking massive shift at the moment because
this. Liverpool can go out there with the side that we've got and the players that we've got and beat Wolves. It's fucking Wolverhampton Wanderers. Show them the respect. Dick them.
Yeah.
3-0 says Tom. Fuck that, Tom.
Yeah,
Sorry, Paul. No,
exactly. No, you're right.
Wolves.
You're right. But here's the problem is it's not about words from us. Words from us are not going to do fuck all. The players have got out there and put a shift in, and that's what I mean.
And they will do, Paul.
Maybe they will, but it's all very Joe Cole press conference. This what we need is to fucking. I'm like I say, we have to talk about these.
Sucking the enjoyment out of this show for everyone watching, Paul.
Yeah. I want, and I think we should fucking, again, we're going to turn up to that game. I'm going to fucking go and sing. I'm going to fucking shout. I'm going to stamp my feet. I'm going to clap my hands. And I'm going to trust that the players are going to go out and do that because the players absolutely owe us a fucking performance. Go in. It's a championship team. No more excuses. I'm not going to sit here on Monday morning and fucking talk through another game where we go, oh, well, we created chances, but we didn't fucking take them. Fuck that shit, Liverpool. Go out there and just fucking smash them because, again, no more excuses. Last chance of silverware potentially this season. Win that, go and beat Chelsea, and then let's look with a positivity towards the end of the season. But again, no more fucking words on it. Just go and have some fucking action.
What was your score prediction?
Score prediction is a 2-2.
Fuck off.
You just want to inflict Michael Owen on our fans.
I want us to win 5-0.
That's fine. Great score prediction.
It's not a score prediction.
Move on.
It's a score hope.
Move on. Right, there's 3 score predictions today. We've got 2-0, 2-1 and Tom's 3-0. You shut up and host.
2-2. 2-2. No, 0-0.
Shut up and host. There's 3 score predictions. 3-0, 2-0, 2-1.
Who's the last player to transfer from Liverpool to Wolves?
Nobody gives a shit.
Transfer or loan?
Is it Ince?
Transfer.
Tom Ince.
Nope.
That's me fucked.
Shea Ojo.
Transfer, permanent transfer.
Permanent transfer, Jesus.
Ojo or Ince for me, other than that.
Well, it's not. It's
neither of those. So, hence why I said I'm fucked.
How recent?
2007.
Okay. No fucking idea.
Centre
Tom
mid.
looks like he's either just covered his pants or he's got an idea.
Not the next Steven Gerrard.
Not the next.
They never were. Another in the long list of centre mid. Local lads played centre mid. Not Jay Spearden.
2007, he went to Bolton, I think.
Much later than that. He was like...
Oh, yeah. It's 2007.
Yeah. Darren Potter, correct.
Yeah, Darren Potter.
There you go.
And yes, with Darren Potter.
Of course, the
he
one player
say 2-all draw
in our squad who was played for both was, as Chris says, Shea Ojo. There you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and your score predictions and your key man predictions.
Unless
and
it's
anything
draws,
else that you want to...
just shut up and host.
Yeah. Host your own shit. Anyway, thanks for watching the show. I'll be around post-Wolves, so if anyone's going the game...
Camera. Bring back the other Paul Machin, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish the show if you do.
Is the other Paul, is it like the Mirror Universe in Star Trek and the other Paul doesn't have a beard?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what happened to him? He's full exuberant, Paul. Yeah. Listen, I'll be round post-match outside Anfield after
Mental
game.
breakdown,
I'll have
that's
no
5
choice,
minutes.
but I'll have no choice but to do the content because Chris is going to be there. So I will be there with a beaming smile on my face and ready to talk to you. Come hell or high water,
After
win,
a
lose,
2-2 draw.
win, lose or draw. And then I'll probably go and do the replay as well. But yeah, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the Redmen channel, and of course go over to redmentv.com. If you enjoyed our advert for merchandise, you can click through, buy some merchandise, buy Redmen TV t-shirts. All helps to support the show, and you'll look cool as fuck as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. Ta-ra.